Good morning. Today I have the opportunity to talk with Ryan Kruger. He is the director for Fried Berry, a insane movie that is going to be available on May 7th on Shudder. How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm pretty good. Really still a little tripped out by Fried Berry. I did not really know what to expect, and I was really impressed with the cinematography of it all, the way you put sound together, the visuals, and the experience of somebody who had been taken over by an extraterrestrial, probably probably the wrong person. Can you tell us a little
Yeah.
bit of?
Well, this is why I always laugh, because it's one of those things where it's the worst person they could have. It's always random, but it's the
Yeah.
worst person they could have picked up.
Can you talk about how this idea came to you? I know it was part. You originally was a short that you did, and then you're making it into a feature film.
Yeah. So, I mean, originally in 2017, it was just a 3-minute experimental. It was a standalone experimental film, and it did really well at festivals. We picked up awards, and I was at that point in my career where I was really frustrated and wanted to make a feature film. I had all these different scripts, and I was thinking, what film could I make? And it just came to me with, I think, because the short did really well, it kind of planted that seed. But it was happened like much later on, because it wasn't designed to make a short and then make a feature. So I mean, the short is kind of a standalone, maybe almost like a scene, more than anything. But what could fit into Friar Barry, but obviously to expand the story. And I got the idea, and then in 3 days I wrote a 50% scene brief breakdown. And then as time went on, a month later I started shooting, and as it was like plan shoot. So it was cool that I had time to write all the other scenes and just expand on that as time went on. But I think with Fried Barry, it is one of those films where it's either you like it or you hate it. You either love it or you hate it. You either get it or you don't. I mean, you can't take the film too seriously, in a sense of it's just a crazy, trippy film. It's designed to take you on this trip. It's designed to make you feel funny. It's designed that you just want to take a shower after you finish watching it, because you just feel dirty. And it's designed to take you on that journey. And it's disjointed when you're watching it, but that's the whole experience. You're going on this experience with Barry. You either with him or we're watching it as if you're Barry, and it's like a road movie without the car, but Barry's the car. And it just shows that other side of society, and the darkest the
Yeah.
darkest side of humanity.
So what's interesting is the vibes I got through the film was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I don't think I've been tripped out as far as scenes and feeling like I'm with you on this mentally also, since I've seen some of those scenes. So great job with that. But it's not possible without the right lead man. Can you talk about Gary Green and the work he does?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, from when we shot the short, I always wanted to work with Gary on something, because I just love his face. He's just got such an interesting face, and nobody looks like Gary. He is who he is. And when I got the idea to do the feature, it was one of those where I'm like, obviously I have to bring Gary back, but it had to be the right story, the right script. Everything had to be right to build this movie around him, because he's not, Gary's not a trained actor. So to shoot a feature film and have somebody like that as the lead, I got to build the movie around him so it works for him as it will work for me with working with him. But a lot of the main dialogue in the movie that I wrote, but I also left a lot open for improv working with all these actors. But then when I worked with Gary didn't know what we were doing until I told him what we were doing, because I didn't want him to overthink everything. So I needed that clean slate every day. And then Gary was the only one that didn't improv He was the only one that didn't improv in the film because I needed that clean mindset, and so I can, shape him and tell him exactly, what I wanted. And the funny thing is with that, his character mimics people as the story goes on, or the people that he meets. And at the same time with directing, I'm off screen saying, look at my face. Okay, copy my face. Okay, copy this face. Okay, now do this face. And at the same time, I'm busy editing the movie in my head because I'm like, okay, I've got that reaction. Okay, I've got this. Okay, I've got that reaction. So it just looks like he's hitting, all the beats. But the thing is with Gary, nobody could have done this part without him. He gave it 120%. And yeah, and this is why I said before, the movie relies on Barry. This is what the movie's about. The story is simple. It's about a heroin addict that gets abducted by aliens and takes his body on a joyride. That's the story. That's it. And it's not about that. That's why the movie is about this experience and going through this, this journey with him.
So it's such a challenging role, though. He's a junkie. He gets abducted by aliens, so he's not a junkie anymore. But he's somebody, like you said, like a car, but he's being controlled by an alien. And I was like, man, that's a lot. And for him to do that without having any kind of training, I think you probably did a massive job in coaching.
Yeah.
But and some of those reactions make a lot of sense, and they fit so well because maybe you ask him to make a facial expression and it's very sudden, but it's kind of maybe what a knee-jerk reaction would be from somebody who doesn't have control of that body.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And that's why I go back to everything had to be right, for him. Like if it was like this alien that just speaks to everybody and talks, it's not the same film, and it wouldn't work with Gary. So that's why it would be like, when he mimics these people, it's just words, he doesn't know what those words mean. So he's just like, hey, he just shouts it out. So everything has to, had to be right for this whole thing to work. And with all the facial expressions and all those things, and it's just, it's meant to be offbeat. It's meant to be crazy. He's not meant to understand everything what they're saying. So you got to imagine this alien sitting there and all these people just saying all these random things to you. So it's like, and it's it's these very like obscure or blunt looks that that he gives.
Yeah, it's a wild ride. I feel bad for that alien. If anything, that maybe prevents from coming back. How did you pick the experiences Barry goes through in the film?
I think it was just like, when put myself in that world, and and it just thinking of, for me it was a lot based on entertainment, and a lot based on that it wasn't predictable. And that's the thing with me. I think most films that we watch these days, you're like, okay, this is going to happen or this is going to happen, and I try to make it that it's not that road and it's not that road. So I really try to keep the audience on their tiptoes, and that's why the pace is so quick. It's almost like this this buzzing fly constantly at you, and you go, okay, get off me. It's literally like that, all the way through the film. And then here and there we have those breathers. So it's just that all these different things that happen to him is obviously so crazy and so random that it's all in one night. And I promise you, Cape Town isn't that bad the way it looks in the film. It's just one of those things where no matter where you are in the world, we always have the dodgy areas, we always have the dodgy bars, we always have dodgy places where we don't go. And that's it. It was just like his journey and his random ways that he went down the road, he went down the wrong roads, just like the alien got abducted the wrong guy.
One of the last things I want to ask you is, how important was it for you to make sure that Barry kept at least a piece of his humanity with I believe his wife and his son, or who at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's the big, that's the heart of the movie. That really is the relationship with his wife. He's actually a better guy as the alien. You know what I mean? And if anything, it's taught him some lessons in life where he's like, okay, I gotta be a nicer guy, and his wife is basically the heart of the movie that just grounds it, and him as an alien just appreciating, oh, this is maybe this is the part that I get. It's life, and this is my kid, and that's why it looks like he's trying to be this better dad, you know.
Absolutely. Ryan, thank you for your time. I know you got to get going to your next one. Congratulations on a really well balanced film. It was an insane trip, but I think it's everything you wanted it to be. And for me personally, I really enjoyed it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what you do next.
Cool, man.
All right, take care.
You too, man. Cheers, dude. Thanks.
Thank you